Very long after this, that certain friends and family members started to come to me and say, Joe, we don't really know what it is you do overnight. We know it's got something to do with the stock market. We know nothing about the stock market, but you seem to be happier than you've been for a long time. You seem to have more money than you had for a long time. Would you mind teaching us what it is you do? Or at least in the short term, obviously, in this instance, sitting down and taking some money from us and trading for us. And I did that. And it dawned on me one day that if something that had happened to me, there wasn't one person in this little group of 7 people that could have continued to do what it was I was doing, or for that matter, even resurrected what we'd created for no other reason except they didn't know what to do. And I knew that was unfair. Because off the top of my head, I beg your pardon, out of the 7 people involved, 3 of them were tradespeople. One was a plumber, one was a carpenter, and one was a registered nurse. And I knew those people studied a lot harder to be successful and get their papers in their industry than I ever had to study to do what I did in this industry. Hence, I decided to teach them what I did. And I wrote, in essence, 2 workbooks. The first one, as such, was involved with the introduction of the stock market investing that I felt I passed on what I believe to be the most important fundamentals of this industry, together with certain areas that I picked up through experience that I knew if they knew about could save, if not make a lot of money, purely and simply without having to go through the school of hard knocks. In addition to that, I put another workbook together that, if you like, went through my selection criteria that I'd created from the figures of the industry and a few additional areas of information that also exists in this industry that I've now taught around Australia for 9 and a bit years to obviously novice and professional traders and brokers in this particular country. Sat down after putting all of this together, put these people in front of me, and oddly enough, they understood as well what it was I was trying to pass on to them, which really didn't surprise me. Pardon me. It may well have been, again, I suppose, because of our collective backgrounds. It wasn't long after that they started to come round to me and say, Joe, my mum, my dad, my aunt, my uncle have always had an interest in the stock market, but whenever they go to an information evening that's designed or directed towards education, in most cases they find they've been unfairly coerced into that evening to be shown an investment product, not to be taught at all themselves what to do, which is not what you did with us. So can I send them around your house and will you teach them as well? No worries at all, send them around. What I found shortly thereafter is I was doing workshops 4 to 5 nights a week in my own home for people I didn't even know for free. So now, close on 9 and a bit years ago, I decided to see whether or not, through a bit of encouragement, it was worthwhile offering in a more public instance. I rented a little scout hall, put an advertisement in the paper, and got X amount of people. Enough people at least that encouraged me to further professionalise the workbook, add a bit more to the content, then start offering it at the South Park Motel, which I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with. Once again, the encouragement, or at least encouragement that I received, further allowed me to further add to the content, further professionalise the workshops, then start offering them interstate. Close on 8.5 years ago, the first one was held in Melbourne. Now for the last 8 and a bit years, I've travelled Australia conducting these education workshops in every major capital city, most regional centres, and soon to be in overseas countries as well. So what I'd like to do, ladies and gentlemen, at this point is put some